In this video, I want to take a look at a game which I played against a former chess hustler, and we played, I believe, 7 games. I recorded 3 of them, and I won all of them. And well, the game started with e3, and I played c6. If you want to take a look at the recording, I will put a link in the description. And well, the reason I played c6 is because I was adjusting my pieces, and well, my opponent pressed the clock, so I wasn't really trying to get into an argument, so whatever, I just played c6. d3, I mean, the opening is very strange because that's how hustlers play. They want to get people out of book quickly, so d5, bishop e2, bishop d2, f5, knight f3, and we were playing pretty quickly. I didn't want to get low on time, so here I just blundered a pawn, knight f6, and my opponent went knight c3, and well, now I defended the pawn, and you can see in the video that my opponent, based on his facial expressions, he wasn't very happy about the fact that he could have won the pawn. And now he just plays this ridiculous move, bishop c1. So now I feel like I have to win, because you can't play like this and expect to win. So I get more space, and we trade. Knight g1, which I just feel is kind of disrespectful, honestly. I mean, look at the advantage. Castles, queen d4, another hustler move. Just bring the queen out early, which works against weaker players. Here I play bishop e6 for 2 reasons: just developing my pieces, but also I wanted to play c5 in order to get a tempo on the queen, but potentially the d-pawn is going to be weak. I mean, I could transpose like this, but in a blitz game you might miss some tactics. So I thought I would defend the pawn first and then play c5. After b3, then I went c5. Queen d1, which it's not a very good move. Queen d2 would have been better, because, well, if you play b3, then the bishop is coming to the b2 square, or maybe a3, so you're not blocking the bishop in. And you also can castle, so queen d1, you're just losing too much time. Bishop e5, which seems to violate the rule that you shouldn't move the same piece twice in the opening, but here I'm doing it for a very concrete reason. Normally I would play something like knight c6, but since my opponent has played very strange moves, the king's still stuck in the center, he cannot castle, so, you know, either breaking open the position with pushing the d-pawn, or my move bishop e5, hitting the knight makes more sense. Queen a5 pinning the knight doesn't quite work because bishop d2, and if you try to attack the knight again, well, now you have knight takes, and well, white should be okay. Whereas after this, it's more logical for my opponent to play bishop b2 instead of bishop d2, and now I can play queen a5 without having to worry about any discovered attacks on the queen. But the engines don't like that move. They think that I should just break open the position, which makes perfect sense, because I just said the king's stuck in the center of the white king. My king is safer. I have better development. All of that says open up the position and just get a winning attack. And in this position, actually, the engines just say take the pawn. Just give up the knight, because, I mean, black's position is just that good. So after this, queen d2, I just develop my knight so I can connect my rooks. And here my opponent castle, which the engines don't like. I mean, I don't think it's that bad, but the engines hate this move, and they say that f4 is pretty much the only decent move. After that, bishop c7 is best. If you take en passant, you're actually helping white, because now the knight can come here, gaining a tempo on the bishop. Black still has an advantage, but it's not the -3, -4 that it was. After this, well, now it's just like really good for black. Now I played the pawn break, and well, the knight looks kind of strange, but the point of the move is that white wants to trade queens, which would help alleviate the pressure that I have, and also you're hitting the pawn. So if the queen moves, then I'm just dropping the pawn, which you might argue makes, let's just say you take. Well, now I can, after the bishop moves, I could potentially put the rook on the c line and just put pressure on the pawn, but I just don't think that's enough compensation. Knight b4, the engines really like. Apparently they think it's the only move, or at least Stockfish thinks it's the only good, decent move. a3, and here I thought for a while, because I was calculating this line. Knight a2 check, knight c3 check, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, which is a mistake apparently. Queen e1, which looks very strange, but that's actually a pretty good move. The point is, you obviously cannot take the bishop because I lose the queen. And if I play something like rook c8, well, it looks strange, but the pawn can't really move. So the advantage is actually quite small in comparison. After bishop takes, well, now I have two threats. Obviously, I'm attacking the queen. I'm also attacking the pawn, which would be checkmate on g2. Unfortunately for me, my opponent has this move queen c1, which defends both threats. Knight d5, which is just bringing another piece into the attack. Notice that the dark squares around white's king are very weak, so potential forks here. Bishop c4, which is the best move. And knight e2, which allows me to take the pawn. Not that I really care about the pawn. I'm just activating my rook along the second rank, which is always good. And engines don't like this move. They think you should have taken the knight because the knight is more dangerous than my bishop. Oh, now there's this check. And here I blunder with rook takes. Because now there's this in-between move. Bishop takes is winning, although that's more of a computer-ish line. I would have probably gone for this move. Knight takes, and now take the bishop. And after takes, well, I'm just up a rook. And well, after this, I wasn't very happy because I just blundered bishop, although my position is still winning. And here I was already getting down on time. My opponent was up more than a minute on the clock. So I was trying to look for a mate because I wasn't sure that I would be able to win the game. I would probably lose on time if I just take the rook. So I went knight b5. And well, after this, check. This is a blunder. You can't take the knight, but you're still losing the queen. So I mean, my position is still fine, unless you play rook f1, which is a very, very good move, but it's also very, very difficult to find. And here the point is that I have to give up the knight, otherwise queen f2 check is very strong. White is in fact winning. So he sacrificed the rook, but you know, I mean, at this point everything is winning for black. Giving a spike check. At this point I was down to less than 30 seconds. And well, here obviously this is completely winning, but I checkmated my opponent with I think 3 seconds on my clock. And here I'm setting up a mate, and my opponent didn't see it. So this kind of just looks like a lazy move, that I'm just making a move because I'm about to lose on time. So that is checkmate. And well, I will be analyzing the other games soon, hopefully. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you for watching.